What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, this video, I want to speak on this kid right here who got exposed by Spencer, right? And I want to react to this video because I want to use this video as an example, and this kid as an example of how like people who are creative and people who have talent just use their talent and their creativity for the wrong in the wrong ways, right? And I while I'm reacting to this video, like Spencer, a couple times he called this kid corny and unintelligent, right? But when you think about the lengths that this guy goes through to deceive people and the creativity that he used to deceive people, this kid is not somebody who is unintelligent. Now I agree that he's not, he's not a good rapper, but he is very creative when it comes to, being able to market himself and put himself out there. And when it comes to trying to take advantage of people, right? So I'm just, I just want to give a different perspective on this video. All right, so let me see. Let me take this down. All right, here we go.
The worst rapper in America just tried to scam me, and you're going to be laughing at how corny this dude is on social media. His name is Hustle Man the Rapper. He's a young dude who gives major scammer vibes on social media, yet he's been able to fool a lot of people into sending him money. And with 16 million followers on his Instagram, many people are fooled into thinking he has clout. His Instagram shows material wealth, but within about 10 minutes of analyzing his life and listening to him in interviews, you'll realize it's all fraud. He tries very hard to prove how rich he clearly is. I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you that every single person with a persona like Hustle Man the Rappers has turned out to be a fraud and has been running actual go-to prison scams.
All this money and keep coming in. I should be, feeling different. And you know how me coming.
If there were a talent show for rappers, Simon Cowell's reaction would be absolutely hysterical as he'd tell him, "Please get off the stage. You are the worst performer I've ever heard." He has access to expensive cars, doesn't appear to have ever had a job, and lives in a nice house. And he has nothing indicating he's ever made money legitimately. Hustle Man the Rapper is the corniest dude I've ever featured on my channel, but it's about time that we exposed him for the scammer he is.
Do y'all know who Hustle Man the Rapper is?
This guy, C-Mac, posted this to TikTok in 2022. At the time, Hustleman claimed he was a commercial real estate investor. He had $79 million plus in student profits, and he was the founder and CEO of RSG Members. It also claimed he was worth 8 figures. Of course, anyone actually worth 8 figures doesn't need to tell you they are in their Instagram bio. You're going to realize pretty quickly just how fraudulent this loser is.
He's a hip-hop artist signed to Atlantic Records.
He absolutely is not signed to Atlantic.
Yeah, I just think for somebody to be able, this kid, for him to be able to put himself out there and get the kind of traction from people that he's getting. Like I said, if he was using this in a positive way, he could make money. He could make legitimate money, and he wouldn't have to, scam people, take their money, and run. And so, just think about this: if you start a business and you want to do some advertising and some marketing for your business, and you want to generate a lot of traction, that takes a certain skill. And right here, you see that this kid has that skill. Like he's getting attention and he can generate traction. Now, once you generate that traction and you get people's attention, you got to have something legitimate. In my opinion, you got to have something legitimate to offer them, some type of service or product.
Atlantic Records.
Who are you signed with right now?
Atlantic.
Look, you say that so calm. Now, being signed with Atlantic, how long has that been in the works?
What you mean?
How long have you been signed with them?
A few months, maybe closer, yeah.
He somehow schemed Google into listing him as having a record deal with 300 Entertainment, which is the label founded by Leor Cohen and Kevin Liles. I can assure you these two have absolutely no idea who Hustle Man the Rapper is. I wanted to show you this because around that time he was claiming he was a real estate mogul. I even sent him a DM in January 2023 asking if anyone actually believed he owned real estate. Of course, he never answered when I asked him how he bought the deals. I don't have any screenshots, but around that time his bio was saying something like, owning 20,000 units. Of course, it's all fraud, but he was never going to snitch on himself. Do any of y'all remember this clown, Hush Puppy? He was the fraudster obsessed with showing you just how much designer crap he owned, and obsessed with showing you just how much wealth he supposedly had. Hush Puppy was an insecure clown whose entire persona was built on fraud. This persona of his was so obsessed with telling you how rich he was on his social media. Hush Puppy was sentenced to over 11 years in prison when the feds knocked down his door after connecting him to tens of millions of dollars of scams. Generally speaking, someone on social media who appears to have access to tens of millions of dollars in a very expensive lifestyle, but very little to zero indication of how they attain that money, is almost always a scammer.
Well, let me say this too, right? When you think about people that are in sales and marketing, they know how to, and it's a fine line. They know how to present a image where as though they make you want to do business with them. Now, it'll be a legitimate business, but sometimes they present themselves in a way because you're not going to do business with somebody who look like they homeless, right? So they present a certain image. Now they probably still have the skill set and the and the knowledge to be able to do whatever service that you need for them. Like if they're an accountant or if they are into stocks or something like that, they can do that kind of stuff for you. That's what I'm saying. Like guys like this who knows how to market themselves, if they learned a skill, for instance, like selling insurance, or maybe get into the stock market, or be some type of an accountant or some type of broker or something like that, and they can generate this type of attention and traction, they would be legitimate. They would be legitimate instead of, just scamming people, taking people money, not offering anything, and then, just basically running with it.
Which brings us to this loser Hustle Man the rapper. His entire persona is exactly like Hush Puppy. If you look close enough, you can tell that they're both very uncomfortable in their pictures because you can tell that they don't actually like the material items they're wearing and flexing for social media. They're just doing it for your attention. These two clowns are so insecure that they will scam other people just to buy crap they don't want, just so they can post to the internet. Even worse, Hustle Man clearly pays for the fake followers. So he's buying crap that he doesn't want for fake followers just to look good for those fake followers. Couldn't you get any more insecure? A couple weeks ago, an account with username Faith1 told me to DM her. Here's her IG page. She claims to do real estate and YouTube, but I noticed she had pictures with Hustle Man the rapper and assumed it was his wife. I receive messages and comments pretty frequently on Instagram because people want to share with me potential video topics for this channel, so that's what I assumed she was wanting to do. I asked if her interest in me contacting her was about Hustle Man the rapper. Ironically, I thought it was going to be her finally sharing dirt on him. Maybe they were going through a divorce and she was finally ready to expose his fraudulent business, but nope, it was just her funnel into their scam.
Hey, I appreciate you reaching out. My husband wanted to connect with you on some business. I'm about to send you his ad so you can DM him directly.
As a
all right, so like I said, man, these guys, basically what they're doing is they're setting themselves up to be like the first guy on there. What was his name? Hush Puppy or something like that. It's just, you just setting yourself up to go to jail. The first guy, Hush Puppy, he got 11 years in jail. And so that's 11 years that you could be developing a skill, becoming an expert in something that is legitimate, that you could really market and make money off of, rather than doing this, these scams and having to look over your shoulders at all times. To me, it's just a waste. But I would never call these guys unintelligent or dumb, because that's a skill. People pay big money for people who know how to advertise and people who know how to market, people who know how to promote and stuff like that. I mean, that's sales. You can definitely get rich off of that.
Content creator, I was low-key kind of happy because this gives me a pretty good video idea, knowing that they were going to try and scam me. But on the flip side, I was actually hoping for her to share dirt about all of his fraud, because that could also make a video. He sent a website labeled Sharpshot AI, the sharpest sports intelligence. I'm using this to generate my picks with AI. I got a Golden State bet today that could touch $2 million. Turn $20 into a 5K bet using the site above. He clearly doesn't know who he's talking to, because I'm the one guy on YouTube who exposes all of these losers trying to sell you their sports bet picks. This website is so comical. He claims $10,000 a day potential, 245,000 members, which is not at all reality. 98.
Look at like the promotion that he's doing. I don't know if he does this himself, or even if he don't do this himself, and he knows how to get this done, it just looked professional, and it's very effective, right? So, in my opinion, I just think it's talent wasted.
Percent win rate, which is easily the most unrealistic aspect of his marketing. 10 daily AI picks. He's clearly just using the gimmick of AI to try to convince you that the scam is realistic. By the way, these are totally fraudulent marketing tactics. I hope the FTC gets onto him. Just to show you how dumb he is, check out the game at the bottom. The Phoenix Suns playing at the Orlando Magic. The Magic were favored by 2 points over the Suns, and yet his dumb little system was telling you to bet the Suns -4. Since many of you aren't familiar with sports betting, he was basically telling you to treat the underdog like the favorite, which leads to much worse odds. If you took these bets over a few weeks, you would mathematically go bankrupt every single time. You don't just get sports betting picks, you apparently get access to 5 money-making machines in 1 membership. Staying away from online scams is protecting your money. We also need to talk about protecting your data when surfing the web.
Yeah, man. So, I just wanted to make this video react to this, man. It's just that these guys, I wouldn't advise anybody to, especially you just setting yourself up. They're looking for these kind of crimes are becoming more and more prevalent too, right? So they're looking to prosecute these type of crimes, and guys think that it's easy money, just like back in the day. They used to think that being a street pharmacist was easy money, and you wind up spending years and years in prison. Whereas though, you could have been developing a legitimate skill, making some honest money, man. So this is going to become more and more prevalent, especially, people have access to computers and social media and stuff like that. So, I just wanted to react to this video. I thought this guy he is, in my opinion, I think he's very creative and intelligent, but he's just using it in the wrong way. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.